Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
What's on Tap podcast. I'm your host, Stefan.
And I'm your host, Martin.
And as you can tell, we ain't quarantining for shit, because we're podcasting, motherfuckers. Although we are keeping a appropriate 6-foot space.
Yes.
So we're having to yell across the room at each other.
I thought it was 1 meter. Are we supposed to be further apart?
I don't know.
We're about 1 meter away from each other right now.
Well, I can't keep my love away from you.
But we've kept hugging and kissing to a minimum, and we have. I have my own glass, and you have your own glass.
Yes. So therefore, we should be safe.
Wash your hands often.
Yes, you should.
Everyone should.
I do. Not just after you pee, but just regularly as well.
Yes.
Assuming that you do wash your hands after you pee. I know most of you people probably don't.
Filthy
buggers.
Yeah. So we have some beers.
We do. So as you know, we are very much in support of the Drink Local movement.
Yes.
And both of us have been ordering from beer shops recently.
Yes.
I've ordered from Tool Beer Shop, and I ordered from Ales and Brews recently.
Yep.
And also my monthly subscription box from Kiosk has come in. So I'm sitting pretty right now, I have to say.
Nice. I have a number of orders from Glasbanken and Omnipollo Beer Shop and a lot of Danish shops, but also European web shops where the beer isn't. Well, what's your definition of local? Like certain Belgian breweries could be counted as locals because I want them to survive any kind of recession.
That is kind of the thing, isn't it? It's like, it's two things, right? So one, you want your local breweries and beer pubs and restaurants and bars to stay open, and so you want to support them. But you also want web shops that you order from to stay open. And
the breweries that you buy through those European web shops.
Right.
So an example for me is Struus.
Yeah.
Belgian brewers, they're probably doing fine. Their beers usually last a long time. They're not this fresh produce thing. But I want them to survive. So I bought a lot of Struus beers recently.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, what was it? Who was it? Cantillon or Jay Fontaine came out and said, like, look, guys, we know these are trying times, but don't worry. We're not in it for the short game. We're in it for the long haul. So we got plenty of beers. They're going to be coming out on a regular cycle.
That was
it's going to be okay.
But in that announcement, they did say that right now they're brewing less.
Yeah.
So it'll be a dip downwards in the amount of blends and variants. But like they have a big cellar of beer. Their beer does not expire soon.
Yeah.
Everyone will be fine.
Yeah, considering most of their beers have a 10-year plus shelf life, it's exactly. not a problem. But today we got 2 beers I ordered recently from Tool. We have the 45 Days Organic Pilsner and the number 1 DIPA.
Number 01.
Number 01 DIPA.
So I guess they're going to make 99 versions.
Probably.
Otherwise it would be 001, right?
Good point. If they get to 10, I'll be surprised. Or it could just be like, hey man, this is the first one we're doing from this production facility. So.
Oh, right. It might be number 2 American Pale Ale. Number 3
Could be.
wheat.
Could be. All right.
So
we'll start with the 45 Days Organic Pilsner.
Yep.
And this says, you don't rush a good Pilsner. Letting it ferment and mature slowly means crisp, delicate flavors. That's why we take 45 days to make ours. This beer was brewed in their Svenninga, Denmark facility.
Cool.
And you can go to Tool Beer to find out more about Tool City. It comes in at 4.7%. And
it looks very clear.
It does. It looks freakishly clear. Just really light bubbles going up through the... This is one of the cleanest Pilsners I've seen in a while. It looks really good.
Beautiful appearance, beautiful bubbles. It had a good head retention, and then we just talked about other things, and it subsided.
This has a nice malty little...
It smells like a Pilsner.
Like a Pilsner.
The Pilsner Urquell.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
No. Cheers.
Right, cheers. It's pretty good, man. They've really been pushing this hard on their web shops. I will say, Tool and McKellar have really impressed me by the amount of Instagram posting that they've been doing to promote their activities and how to get their beers. But this is one of the ones they've really, really been pushing through that. And I love a good Pilsner. So I've been very curious to try this one.
It has a long malty aftertaste. Mm-hmm. It tastes exactly like a Pilsner.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any off flavors. I'm not getting anything like that. I think I should be drinking it outside in a big Stein glass.
It does. It does feel like you kind of want to be sitting outside, enjoying some sunshine, which is crazy enough. We've had great weather this past week. Even though we've been supposedly confined indoors, the weather's been extraordinary for Sweden for this time of year.
I feel like I should be eating a large schnitzel together with this.
That comes later.
Hey, wait, no touching. No physical human contact. I'll have to admire your schnitzel from afar.
I appreciate that.
I always do. No, but I think you mean get what I mean. Where this kind of Pilsner for me is more, it's an accessory to either to food or to a setting.
Yeah.
But I don't usually go, when I'm just like, now we're going to enjoy beer. I don't go for this kind of Pilsner.
It's for me, this feels very much in kind of like the German vein
of
Pilsners and not, say, the Czech vein, which is a little more, I think, sweet and softer. I think this has really nice bready, kind of pretzel-y aftertaste to it.
Yep.
I can see why they're pushing it. And if I had a case of this and just, wanted a beer on a Sunday afternoon, this would be a good way to go, I think.
I also like it.
You're coming around on your Pilsners.
Slightly, but they're still situational beverages.
They are. I have to agree with you. I find that whenever I'm kind of burnt out on IPAs and stouts and stuff, a Pilsner really helps kind of reset the palate and kind of something simple and easy to drink and just kind of pleasant.
What I find myself doing is I'm trying to move myself out of like, what does this taste like right now? And I'm trying to put myself into another situation where I am eating this very salty dish or sitting in the sun, because I think that beer deserves that, and we're not really giving it.
You're not getting the full experience.
No,
what you're saying.
We're doing it a disservice by drinking it in small glasses on a podcast.
Right.
But this is the way we review beers.
That's the way it has to be.
This is our formula.
I can see this being really popular, so like midsummer.
Yes.
With all the food and something really easy to drink. You said 4.7 means you can have a few and you won't get too crazy drunk.
No.
When you add your schnapps to it.
It's better than most Pilsners at Systembolaget.
Yeah. I would say it's better than a lot of the total Pilsners they've put out in the past too.
That too. They've actually made some stinkers.
Yeah.
I did not like my Pils.
I did not like my Pils either, but I did like the sour version of my Pils they did.
But then it's a sour beer.
True.
I'm ready to give this a 3.75. I
am too. I'm really shocked
I'm shocked that you didn't give it higher, actually.
There's a little bit of this undertone flavor that I'm not a huge fan of in Pilsners, and this one has it. I don't know how quite to describe it other than slightly soapy or metallic. And I get that sometimes. I think this is just a really great Pilsner, and if it came to Systembolaget and I could buy a few of them, I would just buy some to have it on hand. But I think 3.75 is a really good rating for this. I think it's a really good Pilsner. I love the grainy, malty aftertaste. I think it really is like yum, 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 yum. So I'm shocked that you gave it so high.
I am coming around. I'm getting better at identifying the finer points of Pilsners, but more so than that, I'm getting better at putting myself in that headspace where I'm imagining it together with sausages, or schnitzel, or something like that. where in the past I might have not have been as good at doing that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, so on that note, let's actually go to commercial break.
We will.
The Mulberry Boys, every Friday night. On the show, you better know they keep it tight. ETL is back and the J-Strom's in the zone. Introduce the co-host, he doesn't do it alone. PCZ is about to hold court. You know he's on the headset, you can hear him snort. Pop culture, movies, TV shows, and games. Rotten Tomatoes, reviews, news, and Blu-rays. Foggy don't play around, he will bust a drop fast. Welcome to the Entertainment Landfill Podcast, the Jason and Steven Show. It's the Jason and Steven Show. What? The Jason and Steven Show. It's the Jason and Steven Show.
Have you ever wondered what so-called family films will scar your kids forever?
Putting 4 and 5-year-olds in front of this movie, it's like, if they didn't know what death was before this, they're going to know it after it.
They're going to know it after it, and they're going to be freaking terrified.
And they're going to be questioning you.
Yeah.
Or do you have the slight suspicion that your loved one has a cold, dead heart?
Yeah, The Dark Knight has got like all the orphans, and like, oh no, we're going to die. They did not build up those orphans at all. In my head, it's like, kill them.
Then look no further. The His Film Her Movie podcast is the show for you. It's the movie podcast that celebrates the contrasting cinematic tastes of its hosts. So join Jordan and Lauren every week on their unique journey through the land of the silver screen. So if you're looking for a few laughs, some fun film related chat, then get involved. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
So next up, we have, this has been touted as the first beer off of their Svenninga production line. Or maybe it's the first double IPA.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not really sure, because technically the 45-day Organic Pilsner came out first. It also came off of their production line.
Yeah.
And this one came out just a few weeks ago.
Do you have dates on them? Because, so like 45 days.
Let's see here. March 11th?
But that's probably canning date, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay, so this is March 18th.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, this is best before date is March 18th, 2021. So if we assume that the canning is 1 year before that, we'll just say March 18th.
Let's assume that.
Yeah, so I guess this came off first, but then it didn't get out into the shelves as quick.
No.
And this also has a 1 year best on date. And this was canned at 7:47 in the morning.
I don't like putting a 1 year best before on a double IPA. I think it should be 6 months maximum.
This is the debut double IPA from Tool City. Explosively aromatic, fresh and fruity.
Yeah.
Comes in at a 8.5% ABV.
I don't doubt that, but in 1 year it will be a very different.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is just a murky, hazy, yum.
It looks like fruit juice.
And it smells so good.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. I'm going to smell it again. I just think it smells so fruity on the nose.
Mm-hmm. That's very fruity. It's really good.
That is nice.
So it's not a spoiler, but it's a behind the scenes. We drank a double IPA before we recorded this episode.
We did.
From Northern Monk, which was much less fruity. So I'm in my brain. I'm comparing them. That's just what happens. This one is very murky. It has a lot of. I would say it has hop burn. But I don't say hop burn. Hop burn for me isn't a swear word like it is for many other people.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, I do too.
It's a very burning bitterness on this, at the side of my...
There is a lot of bitterness coming off of this. Don't you say? I'm like, Yeah, you're right. This is a really bitter beer. Like,
I like
for
it.
as murky and hazy as it looks, you're thinking just sweetness and oh yeah, there's a lot of hopper. It's going to be really, really sweet and juicy, but it's not. It's got this sweetness to it, and there's certainly the fruitiness to it, but there's also this real bitter finish on it.
Definitely. The sweetness from the fruits disappears quite quickly. It's really bitter.
It is. Like, shockingly bitter from
Yes.
a double IPA. That you don't expect that anymore. You always expect it to be really malty,
Yeah.
caramelly, or like super, super fruity. But this one goes against type. So I can see where some people are going to love this, and some people are going to be like, ugh, so bitter.
Yeah.
And I'd be curious to try this again, like get a couple more cans and try it over the next month, see how it changes. Because I have a feeling that some of the bitterness is probably going to drop out as the hoppiness mellows out some.
Yes. With some double IPAs, especially in the 10% range, when you age them for a year or close to a year, they become barley wines.
Yeah.
And I quite like that. With those kind of double IPAs, I like it when they turn into like semi-hoppy barley wines. I don't think this one will.
I don't think this one will either.
I think it will fade
Yeah.
more. I think this one should be drank fresh.
I think it should be. I think it should be drank relatively fresh. And we're like I said, we're getting this really fresh. This is less than a month old.
Yep.
So I mean, even if it waited another couple of weeks, it'd still be, I think, excellent.
I think so too. Yeah. It'll be fine for months.
Yeah. What I'm actually really impressed with is that it doesn't look like there's been a lot of like it's not going to settle out into clumpy goo at the bottom of the can over time.
That's good.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm looking for. Like, so sometimes when you get like some of the Omnipolo or Stibberget's beers, they get a little
Segment,
a little gooey funk at the bottom, and you're kind of like, ugh, I don't want to try that. That's why you always, when you have these double IPAs, you kind of have to you roll them just to re-agitate them, or you make sure you leave the very, very bottom of the can in the can, because it's going to be like just weird sediment kind of falling out.
Yeah.
I don't get the feeling that this is going to be a problem with this beer, because it looks like they've done an excellent job with the brewing on this, and the haziness is built into the beer itself, and not just something that's left with yeast retention or something like that to keep it its haziness.
Yes, and when it comes to the can art, I'm seeing like a small theme of the Tua logo at the top, description at the bottom with the same font, and then in the middle like textual logos.
Well,
I like that. I kind of like that. It makes them stick out a little bit, especially the 45 Days Organic Pilsner. The 45 really sticks out.
yeah, I don't know if Casper Liedick did these as well, because I mean they used to be like the Tula cans were really kind of expressive, crazy
Abstract,
labels.
yes.
And now they've been getting more and more just
Conformist.
like simplistic.
Yeah.
Like just very simple text or text art, or they're even kind of getting away from the abstract photos.
Yeah.
Like that phase is past. That was a 2019 design factor was abstract photos. 2020 is going to be strictly use of text in different ways.
Yes.
And I don't know. I kind of
You miss the old.
miss some of the older, kind of crazier design elements.
Yeah, they used to be cool. But sometimes you would look at a beer and you wouldn't instantly know it was a 2L beer.
I don't know. I could almost always tell a 12 beer, because they've always had a very, very unique style.
Yeah, but it's been quite scattered.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass again. This looks more adhering to one style guideline than compared to old 2L beers that could look like anything.
True.
Like a pattern or a box in a box with a picture or just the text.
Yeah.
Like what? It was a little bit all over the place. Like My Pills was just text.
It was wood. It was wood grain on the logo, on the label.
Huh, maybe.
And then it said text. Yeah. Then it said the text. Yeah.
Anyway, if these are the two first beers out of
Their new Danish.
their new Danish,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna do fine. I think this is a good start.
I agree. I really enjoy both of these beers.
So I'm gonna give the double IPA a 4.
I am also going to give the double IPA a 4. I think they're both really good. And, if Tula wants to send us some more of these to help us through these long...
But Tuel didn't give us these.
No, we bought these. I bought these. I went out of my way to buy these. I'm just saying, if they wanted to send us a couple boxes of these, I would not be disappointed, because these are excellent.
then the ratings would go up, right?
I would never do that.
Oh, you would never do that.
Because that mostly means I'd have to go back and re-edit episodes, and that's never going to happen. So
I thought we were the corrupt podcast.
I wish.
Oh no! What about all the bribes I've taken?
Damn it, man! You gotta start sharing those.
No.
That's why I can say we're still ethnically pure, because
ethnically pure.
Ethically pure.
Jesus Christ!
Man, that's a real mispronunciation there, isn't it?
Our podcast almost went into a completely different direction politically. No, we are quite ethical.
Yeah, we are quite ethical.
Whenever someone's given us beer, and it's not often, we've been very. We've said it so.
Yeah. We've reviewed beers fairly, and if they're good, they're good. If they're bad, we've also said they're bad. So
yes,
no problem with that. Let's wrap this up. You can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
A subsection of Folkhälsomyndighetens website where you can learn about Corona, but also what's on top of this.
Yes, apparently.
You need to click a lot of links there.
You really gotta search for it. What you're saying.
Yes, it's not on the site map.
So until next time,
keep drinking, you dum-dums, and keep safe in pressing times.
Exactly, and keep drinking local.
Yes.
This podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.